Yes, it's easy.
Yes, he is. He is writing, okay? Now what if I did this?
No.
Camila, is the boy sleeping?
No.
No, he
It's writing.
isn't. Good job. He is writing. Nice job. I've said this for years. I have the best job in Findlay City Schools because of who I get to work with. I've got these kids who are sponges and they want to learn. I've got these parents who honor and respect teachers. He's sad. We cry when we're sad.
It's sad that
Okay.
go home.
Because his dad had to go home. Maybe we cry if we get hurt, okay? I consider myself an ESL teacher, and ESL is English as a second language. But we're actually going to be changing that, and we're going to call it English language development, because many of these students are coming to us with already 2 or 3 languages. So it's not a second language anymore. That's a misnomer. Okay, I have one more thing. I heel. Okay, look at the hair. It is the fastest growing population in the United States schools, public schools. ELLs, the population continues to grow while the rest of the population in some states stays level, but in some states have gone down. It's the fastest growing population in Ohio. There's a school district down the Dayton area that's getting 40 newcomers a month. What is she doing?
Sitting.
In a
Chair.
As advocates, we want to make sure that these students' needs are being met by teachers, but also teachers who are TESOL endorsed and trained to help them. And then we, ESL teachers, have to help those gen ed teachers of what do I do with them and give them strategies to help them make the content accessible. Because we don't want them to sit there and not engage or participate. They deserve the best education just like any other student deserves the best education.
The kind flowers from Miss Kurth, who's in Mrs. Kiss's class. For the kind flowers go above and beyond in class during the lesson. They are focused, engaged, and eager to learn. Great job.
At Whittier, we have over 70 EL students right now with about 385 students in the school. So that's over 20% of our population are EL students.
About 3 years ago, we had a major reorganization of all of our elementary schools. So 65% of my staff, of these teachers, were now new to English learners. They've never had them before. Of course, they were nervous because they didn't understand and they didn't think they could teach them because they didn't know, the students didn't know English. So I started by going into the classrooms. I would just go into the classrooms and we'd pull up a big map and we would share all the countries that our students are from, and then we would teach them how to count or say hello, and just to really highlight the students. And if there were students from different countries in that classroom, we would talk about where they are from. The second year, the kids came with me and they were like going on tour. They thought, oh, where are we going today? So they loved going into the classrooms and telling about their culture. So that's how we started. And then one time a teacher said to me, that's neat that you go into the class, but only certain classrooms are hearing it, only the classrooms with the English learners. So that's why we started doing it in town hall during Trojan time.
Twice a week on Tuesday and Thursday, we get together at Trojan time and find any way that we can to celebrate students through their leadership.
I love to celebrate my kids. I love to celebrate and highlight their cultures. And this year the parents have become more involved in helping their kids prepare, even though they get really nervous when they get in here. But yeah, I think it's been a really positive, a very positive thing, and the kids like it. And I would have students, American students last year, say, where are we going next week? Where are we going tomorrow? So it became a habit and a routine that they loved.
She is so resourceful and so connected to the community and to our school community, and is constantly finding ways to support our English learners through different resources or different research. I've seen families that have been with us those 3 years of K1 and 2 here at Whittier that are just like devastated to leave Whittier or devastated to leave the country again because of Dr. Whipkey. The communication that she has with our families, the relationship she creates with those families. She's the first one at the door when they come in on their first day if they've just arrived here from a different country or a different community, and she goes to the end of the earth, really, for these families.
The first day I bring my kid here, Mrs. Whipkey, she's wait for me on the front, the office. She know maybe I got confused about and everything, and then she helped me a lot. She even told me that some people from my country, they can help me too. So I really appreciate that what she do.
Having her here is just an endless resource and an endless amount of passion and love for these students. So I just can't say enough about her. She's just so wonderful.
If I get any letters or notes from a parent, it's always how I am that safe space for them. They are able to be at home, feel okay, because they know that their child is safe in here. And even if they need to come, I used to have a little girl who would spend a lot of time with me. I'd be teaching my second graders, this little kindergarten would be sitting on my lap. And I would continue to teach. She just needed to be with me. And her mom said she wouldn't get out of the car unless she saw me out front on that sidewalk. So I know that what I do is so important to those kids and to those families. I mean, sometimes just being in here, I mean, we're learning English, but we're having fun. The majority of English learner students are actually US-born students. They speak Spanish at home, or Laotian, or Vietnamese. And every time I have a conference, I tell these parents, speak your home language, speak your native language, because first of all, that's your identity. Second of all, a second language builds upon that knowledge of your first language. They are going to continue to speak their native language at home because that's who they are. And also the parents might not know English. In this school, we are very diverse and we can learn so much. We are so privileged to be able to learn about other people's cultures and their celebrations. And I just think they come here and for the most part, they want to learn and take part and participate in our celebrations and in our community. And I think it's just kind of nice to learn from them as well. I think that goes a lot into our relationships and growing as a community or growing as a state. However, you have to understand, you have to be, I don't know, willing, you have to be accepting, you have to be, I don't know, there's just so many things that go into it. It's so important. And I don't understand when people don't want to celebrate that.
As you know, Japan is a very small country, and usually people is speaking only Japanese, no other language. But in today's presentation, many kids, many children was listening Japanese language. So this is very important experience for others as well. It's very good chance for Shiori to explain Japanese habit, Japanese culture. That's why we are feeling this is a very important event for her and everybody.
So many different ways to greet.
They're so brave to get up there, and when they get up there, after, even if they practice, they're nervous, they're very quiet, but they get up in front of the whole school and they will tell a little bit about their culture. So it's so exciting for me to watch them grow.
So she is a great ESL teacher, and she's respectful to the ESL friend.
Mrs. Whipkey is she's really nice, and she helps my classmates a lot who speak different languages to learn English. So she's pretty nice.
Other students from around the world and from different cultures, countries, and other stuff. Miss Whipkey has a translator to translate those students so they can understand English clearly, so they can communicate.
My students don't feel that different is bad. They know they're different because we celebrate it. Anything I can do to celebrate it, we highlight, we celebrate. So they do know that they're different in that way, but they don't feel different because now they're in the class with their friends. I mean, it's given them confidence and comfort outside of my room, outside of the safe space. They're now much more comfortable there because the teachers are welcoming, and they are highlighting those cultures in their classes now too. And it's also taught the other students to be more welcoming, and they're excited. They ask them questions all the time. Well, how do you say this? Or what do you eat here? You know, so they're constantly asking about cultures on their own now. So it's just normal. And that's what's kind of neat. It's just the normal, that's who we are.